Before this video begins, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Also, be sure to check out my affiliate links down below so you can get discounts on car mods and products. Alright, let's get into the drive. Hello and welcome. Today we're driving a 2020 Lincoln Continental Black Label All-Wheel Drive Edition. I would like to thank Flood Ford and Lincoln of Narragansett, Rhode Island for allowing me to both review and drive this vehicle. I recently did a full in-depth review with this Continental, so to learn a lot more about all the specs and features, make sure to check that out. Currently out on the channel. So this is a 2020 Lincoln Continental with about 28,000 miles and its stickers close to $60,000. It originally cost closer to $80,000. This is powered by the largest of three Ecoboost V6 engines, this being a 3-liter twin-turbo V6, making 400 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. This is mated with a 6-speed shiftable automatic transmission. This gets 17 miles per gallon city and 25 on the highway. And it comes in with a curb weight of roughly 4,500 pounds. Some lower trims do include down to 3,800 pound curb weight. Alrighty, let's get to it and get this out on the road. So the first thing I want to note is this actually has a push button shifter. So that is pretty interesting. It's not all that common yet, but it saves a lot of great space in here. And this does also have both heated, cooled, and massaging front seats. It also has heated rear seats, which is awesome. And then additionally, this has a 22-way power adjustable driver's seat and passenger seat. And you can even option that up to a 30-way passenger and driver adjustable seat. That is crazy in my opinion. It's awesome. This 22-way is insane to me though. I can't believe how specific you can get with controls and adjustments on that. You do get a head-up display in here, so that's a very nice resolution, and very bright and easy to see in this midday daylight. So this is a twin-turbo engine, but this car is not designed to be loud or anything. As you heard in the startup, it's meant to be very, very pleasant, very quiet. It's meant to be a luxury cruiser, and definitely a grandpa car of sorts. But it definitely has some real power in this day and age, especially connected to an all-wheel drive system. It can put the power down great. And in a little bit, we will be doing a 0 to 60, among some other tests with this car, and just discussing it in quiet, calm roads as well as highway driving. So, yeah, it'll be nice. And I'll get back to you when I am out of this traffic. Alright, now that we're out of this traffic, so far this ride is dead silent. I can hear the engine, and that's about it. I'm going about 35 right now, and let's see, so it absorbed bumps pretty well so far, and it is riding dead silent. It has some pretty large wheels. This rides on 20-inch aluminum alloy wheels, and those have 245 wide tires on them, but so far those are actually pretty quiet. Wind noise is basically non-existent in this car so far. I'm going about closer to 50, and it feels like I'm going 20 in a normal car. It is so darn quiet in here, which is awesome, of course. Brakes feel pretty good when I have to do some hard braking. It's not the quickest braking though. It's not bad, but they're designed to be cushy. They're designed for comfort right here. This does have blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert. This also has smart park assist, so it can park itself in both parallel and perpendicular situations. It does also have lane departure warning with lane keep assist and adaptive cruise control. So this has a great many features in here. So I'm just in a normal drive mode right now, but it drives pretty well so far. The steering in this mode is actually relatively heavy. It's comfortable. It's not like hard inputs right now, but you know, it has some decent feedback. It's very, very quiet in here, as it should be. Let's take this corner. Okay, there's really minimal body roll in here. So this rides on a typical strut suspension in the front and multi-link in the rear. It has active suspension though, so it can adjust as it goes, and to my knowledge it's pretty basic in how it functions, but it really feels good. Let's just get into it a bit. it doesn't really hesitate to get up and go, that's for sure. It does have 2 turbos, but it doesn't tend to have too much turbo lag. It feels pretty direct and immediate. Going over very rough road right there. This absorbs it very, very well. It just feels like minor imperfections, which is crazy considering how bad that road is. Let's do a hard brake. Feels good. And let's actually do a 0 to 60. Okay, it's not all that quick, but it's definitely not bad. It's a lot better than many cars, and this thing is huge. This is like 201 inches long and 83.4 inches wide, I'm pretty sure, without the mirrors. So this is not a small car by, I don't really think, anyone's measurements. And yeah, it really gets up and goes pretty well. And if you're just stomping it, it does tend to pull pretty hard, even if you're in, mid-range of rev. And putting in input, though, it really does feel pretty tight in the body. They tuned this very, very well for just having a strut and multi-link suspension set up. Feels great so far. It's dead silent in here, too. I have the air conditioning on, and that's all I can hear. I'm surprised they got the wheels this quiet, because typically with larger wheels, it gets a lot louder in the car, but it really is quiet. I'm even on like a gravel road right now, and I can barely hear this thing. That's awesome. And let's actually just test the turning radius on this thing, just a wee bit. So push button, goes into reverse. You get your camera, you get a 360 camera. Pop it back into drive, and it's really not a bad turning radius. I just did a three-point turn pretty successfully in a pretty small road. So this does have a sport mode, so if I go down into there, I'll show you that in a moment. And that's just located in the shifter setup, so it's just one more button below drive. So in there, you can actually use paddles here though, so third, second. Okay, it's very slow on paddles. Let's see, I'll pop her into sport. 3, 2. Okay, 3 to 2 is very slow. 3, 4. Okay, so it tends, higher gears tend to be better in this. For the shifting speed, I mean, when you're doing paddles. But overall, it's pretty nice. It feels like you're driving a cloud, although it has pretty good handling as well. Like going into this corner about 40. Very tight. It's all-wheel drive. Definitely some body roll, but it's trying to counter it. So far, it's very much surprising me. I knew a Lincoln Continental is a huge car, but this is handling a lot better than I expected. I haven't driven too many large luxury cars yet. I've done some smaller ones, so they're, of course, going to handle decent. But, yeah, this is really okay. And if you stomp it, even in normal mode, it really does like to pick up. I heard a little bit of turbo spool there, so that was nice. A little really high-pitched whir. Yeah, because this stickered initially about 75, 80,000. You could top out around 84 when it was new. This was just a tiny bit below absolute top trim with all the options, but it has many. So this was probably close to the 80,000 mark, and due to today's car market, everything's a bit inflated, of course. But for 60 grand, this really is really nice. Beautiful car. And with this being all-wheel drive, obviously no one drives this like a performance car, hopefully. But yeah, it can really put power down. You don't have to worry too much in this car about handling, or if you're driving a bit faster a corner, any of that stuff. So we're in sport. Let's just take a nice little corner. There you're at 60, so that is awesome. Very, very nice to drive. Okay, so once you hit about 60, there's a tiny bit of wind noise, but it's still only like the very highest, I guess you could call it pitch of wind noise that's present. It's really, really quiet in here. So that is awesome, of course. For fit and finish, it's just immaculate inside of here. The entire door panel, all the way down to the, literally to the floor mats, is soft touch material, not just like hard rubber, like true padded soft touch material. So it's great there. You get a brown dashboard in this one, which I think looks a lot nicer, this light tan and brown interior, than say the typical black one that can come in some other trims. I would easily choose this one. And you do get a Revell Ultima audio system in here, so that is a really great pump-in audio system. I'm pretty sure it pumps out close to 1200 watts of power, and that can give you some mean stereo out of that. And you get the Sync 3 system in here. It's a Lincoln branded one, but it really does, it's, in my opinion anyway, I really like the Sync 3 system. It's very simple and intuitive to use. You do get navigation in here, and you do get heated, cooled, and massage seats for the front too, which all that's accessible in hard buttons as well, which is awesome. A lot of the climate things are also accessible by hard button, as well as in Sync 3, which I think is good because a lot of older people are probably going to be buying this particular Lincoln, which isn't a bad thing or a good thing, but a lot of older people don't tend to be so great at technology. So I would personally hate owning this car if I was old and not tech savvy, just because it would be so frustrating, as in a lot of cars are in the luxury department, because they tend to put way too many digital controls into it and take away all the hard buttons. Sometimes they even make it touch capacitive sensors, which is very rough to do for even some younger people, or just anyone on the fly. But luckily, they chose to supplement it with hard buttons as well. So I think that's awesome. And blind spot monitoring working well. Yeah, this thing just feels amazingly solid built, in my opinion. And yeah, I feel like I'm driving a tank down the road, which is good, a very well-handling tank. But I feel like I own the road with this. This is awesome. Okay, and in very slow traffic, though, when you get on and off of this, it's very jerky. That's just probably the transmission and throttle programming as well, but I don't really love driving this in city traffic. Getting back on the gas, it tends to like slam you back a tiny bit. Like grab at the gear pretty hard, and then it'll be smooth. It is a very refined transmission if you're driving day to day, like I am now. You can feel the shifts, but really not much. A lot smoother than many larger vehicles I've driven. And this is only a 6-speed automatic, so it's a tiny bit of an older transmission, but it does the job very well. The engine, of course, is very quiet in here, unless you're really pushing it, but even then, it's really not that bad. I personally like engine sound. I'm a car guy, but this is not meant for that, and they did a great job suppressing it. As for visibility in here, you have a little bit of a thick A-pillar. It is completely covered in suede Alcantara, though, which is awesome. You get a gigantic panoramic sunroof in here with an entire panel, like a giant panel, that actually is glass, and it'll pop up and open for you. So that's very nice. And additionally, it is just really, really pleasant being in here. It's pretty large windows. It's not all that sloped of a rear roof line either, so rear visibility is great for me. And yeah, so far I really enjoy this thing. Yeah, keeping the Lincoln Continental nameplate, they definitely killed it off for a good number of years. I don't know how many, probably close to 15 years, maybe almost 20. But yeah, this is a heck of a return for that nameplate. This is a beautiful car, and I really, really, really enjoy this. And I'm just going to pull off here, and I'll get back to you in a moment, and we will do a 0 to 60 run. Alright, so we will pop it into sport mode, get back into the road, come to a stop, and I will floor it. See how quick we get to 60. Okay, that is really good. You do feel the transmission a bit more in sport mode, as it's designed to be. That's definitely a tuning thing. Makes it more exciting, gives it better power band opportunities. But yeah, I really, really, really enjoy this thing so far. It's so quiet. We're on a packed gravel road because here in Rhode Island we have some of the shoddiest roads in the entire nation, both statistically and in the day-to-day. So we actually stopped paving some of our roads with tar because they just break so much that they just gave up and started packing tar and gravel together, so they have to, so it's cheaper and it's somewhat less likely to break. But yeah, even on this road, as you can hear me speaking, it is very comfortable at a normal volume, and it rides great, and sounds great too. There's really almost nothing, so that is beautiful. I just don't love it at low speeds, though. Like picking on and off of the gas, I don't know what they did there, but that's the only gripe I have with this car. It really definitely jerks you around in and out of tapping in and out of the pedal. Not very hard either. I'm not like stomping it. I'm just barely tapping it, but it is being fussy with that. But overall, I love this thing so far. And we'll do a little U-turn if this can make it. Good, Okay, yeah, that's why it's a big car. It can't actually make that U-turn in one try. Okay, you are reminded of how big it is, but that's okay. Okay, it does have a couple of pretty short shifts back in that transmission. Sounds very good. Not all I don't know, it doesn't sound like a ZF transmission or anything where it has like that hard bark to it when it shifts up higher, but it had a decent sound right there. And even when you're in sport mode, it's not a harsh shift. It's not like throwing you or bucking you. This is still just like a very powerful, pretty well tuned and handling cloud. This drives like an older luxury car in a good way, in which it just feels so grand. And even though it's pretty attainable at the $60,000 price range used, it's really, really nice. It has as many creature comforts as I could imagine, basically. And I'm just very, very happy with this car. Alrighty, that'll just about wrap up this video. Thank you very much again to Flood Ford Lincoln in Narragansett, Rhode Island, for allowing me to both review and test drive this Lincoln Continental. Be sure to check out the full in-depth review currently out on the channel, and that'll just about do it. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.